My father also had a lot of contact with Mongolian students attending school in Lanzhou, learning about Mongolian music from them, and the widely sung song Rainbow Sisters was also adapted by him during that period. The Northwest Resistance Theater troupe traveled all over Gansu in half a year, doing a lot of anti-Japanese salvation propaganda and performance activities, and they also went to many places in Qinghai, where the actors were very enthusiastic despite the hard living conditions. In Lanzhou, they performed a large-scale drama, The Raid, under the direction of Seker, which was a 4-act, 6-scene drama collectively written by Ding Ling, Seker, Xiao Hong, Nia Konyu, and Duanmu Hongliang in Shaanxi. The performance was a sensation in Lanzhou City, and the growing influence and prestige of the left-wing cultural figures aroused the panic of the head of the 8th War Zone of the Kuomintang. In the fall of 1938, the Kuomintang authorities in Lanzhou disbanded the Blood and Flowers troupe, forcing Seker and Zhu Xingnan, among others, to return east to Yan'an. The only colleagues left who traveled west together at the beginning were father and Luo Shan. By the end of the year, my father had just returned to Lanzhou from Xining with the troupe, and then came the bad news that the 8th War Zone of the Kuomintang in Lanzhou had decided to dissolve the Northwest Resistance Troupe on the grounds that the troupe was an impure molecule, announcing the merger of the Resistance Troupe with the 8th War Zone of the Kuomintang's theater team. It was announced that the War Resistance Troupe had merged with the KMT 8th War Area Drama Team. Only 2 or 3 people in the troupe accepted the reorganization, and most of the rest chose to leave. Father and Luo Shan did not join the organization and had no place to go, so they had to go to Qinghai. When the troupe performed in Qinghai, my father was recognized by Ma Bufang, the chairman of Qinghai province. Everything seemed to be by chance, but my father didn't realize that it was this chance that changed the rest of his life. Before going to Qinghai to perform, my father learned 2 flower songs from Zhang Yaxiong of Jincheng. Zhang Yaxiong was famous in Gansu for his obsession with the flowers. When the troupe performed in Qinghai, my father wore a small white hat and a mustache like a Hui young man, and sang the Flowers of Hezhou on the stage, and people thought that he was a handsome and dashing Hui young man, and he was especially popular. Ma Bufang, president of Qinghai province, watched the performance. At the end, Ma Bufang went on stage to congratulate and meet the actors. He walked up to my father and praised him. He thought my father was a Muslim. After realizing that he was not, he laughed and asked him why he was wearing the white cap of a Muslim. The father said it was to follow the customs of the country and to take off his little white hat. Ma Bufang said, "Don't take it off, wear it. I like you dressed as a Muslim." Ma Bufang wanted my father to stay in Qinghai, and he said, "Don't think it's not as good as Lanzhou. I'll take good care of you." Father excused himself on the grounds that he could not leave the troupe. When he left Xining, the director of education of Qinghai province, who came to see the troupe off, specially approached my father, bringing President Ma's words that he was welcome to work in Qinghai at any time, and left him a contact information. Back to Lanzhou, my father also went to the Qinghai office in Lanzhou twice. With this encounter, after the troupe was disbanded, my father naturally preferred to go to Qinghai. At the beginning of 1939, father and his wife, Luo Shan, came to Xining, Qinghai. Father was assigned as a music teacher at Huimin Middle School, and Luo Shan as an art teacher at the women's division. Ma Bufang personally invited father to work in Qinghai, but all the schools in Qinghai did not have music classes. This took my father by surprise. What am I, a music teacher, to do without music lessons? The city of Xining has the largest population of Muslims, and the Islamic religion prohibits singing and dancing. My father, the music teacher, became idle, and he was very depressed. Apart from collecting songs from the public, he had nothing to do, and his musical activities could not be carried out at all. He wrote a song called March of the Muslim Youth, an anti-Japanese song designed to encourage Muslim youth to fight against the Japanese invaders. He went to see Ma Bufang and sang the song to President Ma himself. Ma Bufang was particularly fond of this powerful marching song. The lyrics written by my father were just right for the anti-Japanese fervor of the country at that time, and the song was specifically written for Muslim youth. Ma Bufang was of course very happy to hear it, but he was a devout believer, even if he was the provincial chairman. Such a big event as starting a music class in a school had to get the approval of the imam of the mosque before he could do it. Ma Bufang asked my father to teach the songs to the students first, and then asked the imam of the imam to come to the school to review. Father in Xining Hui Min Middle School to teach singing Muslim Youth March. Ma Bufang asked the prelate to come to the school to listen to the students sing. The father commanded the children chorus, but the heart cannot help but nervous. Because he grew up singing in a Christian choir, my father had strong religious feelings, and when the prelate appeared in front of him wearing a flowing white robe, a feeling of respect arose in his heart. The song was sung, and the singing students all looked excited and sang loudly with all their strength. The head teacher listened to the majestic song twice and took the lyrics of the songbook over to read it carefully. After meditating for a while, he said slowly, "I see that this song can be recited, and the song recites the same teachings as the Quran. You guys just read it." The father was relieved. Since then, the schools in Qinghai have had music classes. Of course, it was not called music class, but chanting song class. Later, there was a saying in Qinghai folklore, when Wang Luobin came, there was singing in Qinghai schools. The success of this time undoubtedly set such a precedent for cultural activities in Qinghai, crossing the forbidden religious zone that could not be crossed before. Subsequently, under my father's organization, Qinghai set up an anti-war troop and a children's anti-war troop. With the troop, there was a need to write a large number of programs, so he rewrote those Xinjiang folk songs collected in the Heishi corridor in 1938 and used them in the troop's performances.